Hi guys, Sue here. Going to make a turkey handprint to show you. I didn't have a child here to do a handprint, so I created a very demented handprint for a child. Middle finger is very skinny. I apologize. So I get them to do this first because that way it has time to firm up a little bit while we make the turkey body. And what I do is just put their hand on top, trace around it with a toothpick to cut out their hand. And what I'll get the kids to do is just take their fingers with just plain old water and smooth out the edges a little bit along the corners, just along the edge as it's laying down on the mat. So I'll just have them put it down, smooth out the edges to take any rough spots off, and that can be their job while mom makes a pinch pot. So yeah, that's the kids' job, to do that without too much water. Sometimes I just give them a sponge that's slightly damp and they can do it with the sponge. So while that's sitting up, you just take enough ball to make a pinch pot. So you make your pinch pot and just making a nice round pinch pot. I'm doing this fast so that you guys can get an idea of how to make it. I'm not a professional by any means, and I just tap it on the bottom to get a nice flat surface, and then again sponge to get all the yuckies out and any lines or creases. And then dear wonderful smart Bree Catman has shown us how to smooth this edge out of any cracks, because there's cracks. So I am pinching and compressing to get that smoothed out. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's just the body of a turkey. So I build mine. I know some people build theirs like bowls like this. I do not. I build mine like this. It's much sturdier. And then what I do is the back end where the turkey butt's going to be, I actually tap it on the table to create a nice flat surface to connect my handprint to. So it's kind of flat at the back, if you can see that. Right? So it's not completely oval, it's got a back flat. So that's one part. Then with the other part, I'm just going to build him a quick neck. Take a chunk, a neck and head, I make it all in one. Take a chunk, make a sausage. I tap the back end to sit flat on the table like that, and then I actually bend his head over like this. That's the turkey body, if you can see it, just like that. So that's his turkey body, and of course scratch and slip. So I just put scratches on the back of the scratches on the front there, and I take just water and I milk it up a little bit so that it gets juicy, and I just attach. Right? So there's his little head. Then I take little balls, and same thing. These I generally don't even scratch. I might put a little bit of eyeball there. Put his eyeball on. And then I take the back end of a round brush and I poke it in for his eyeball. I can't see if I'm getting that at the right angle. But yeah, so I do that for both of his eyes. Do it on this end. Take the back end of a brush, squish it in. There's his eye. Then I take a little tiny bit and I make it into a triangle, flat triangle beak, if you can see that. Sorry, there's a window behind me, so I'm not sure if you can see that, but I make it a little triangle. Then I take the toothpick and I actually put his beak line in it. So it's just like that, like a little wedge, triangle shape. The back end I will scratch then I will scratch the front of his head. A little bit of water. Oops. And I give him his little turkey beak. His little body. And then for his wings, I'm just going to kind of move him up forward. So his wings, I take 2 pieces. I roll them into a ball. Flatten them with my hand. So it's just a flat disc. And then I take my toothpick and I cut it into almost like a teardrop shape. Just like that. Okay. And that's one of his wings. I just scratch the back. Scratch where it's going to go on the side. And then pop it on. Now, I don't get people to paint these the same day because I am not fond of the way that they look when they are painted on wet clay. That's not my favorite look, so I prefer the quality of having them come back or having my staff do it. And if my staff are doing it, then we charge extra. We charge $25 if they're going to come back and paint, or $30 if we're painting it for them. So my next one is rolled. I'm just making it into a teardrop shape again. Just cutting off a little bit, scratching, fixing anything that I see is wrong, scratching, slipping, pour water, and then attaching. Oops, just pushed his turkey butt in. And so there's my turkey, right there, if you can see that. It's his little turkey body. Oh, I really just miss his eye there. Now, you can give him a warble if you want to, the little turkey thing underneath. Again, it's just a little kind of, what I like to do is a sausage, and then the one end that I'm going to have hanging, I tap so that it's got a flat end to score, if you want him to have his little turkey warble. Slip, and then you can give him a little turkey warble. If you want him to have the little gobbly gobble thingy, just hang it. There's his little turkey warble. And then you just attach your hand. Mine's really fresh clay, really fresh. And of course, because I'm going so fast, you would draw it out a little bit, make it at least a half hour. Scratch his butt. And then slip. Now this is going to be really juicy because it's such fresh clay. Talk to that supplier. Wow, this is a really big hand. I made a really big hand compared to my turkey body. And sometimes I'll actually cut the bottom of the hand off just to make it fit better. So I'm just going to cut that bottom little slice to make it fit better. And there's his butt. His turkey. I make a lot of these. Last year I think we did probably about 45, 50 of them for Thanksgiving. And I actually liked